Hello and welcome back. In this session, we will take a look at loops and iteration. Whenever we want to execute certain instructions repeatedly, we use loops. There are several loops which are available. One is for, the other one is while, do while, and inside these loops, we can also use break and continue. There is another loop called for in loop and for off loop. So what we will do is we will see up to break and continue in this session. In the next session, we will see a for in and for off. Okay, so let us look at for loop first. Okay, let me create a new file here called loops.js. Okay, I will create a variable is equal to 0 and we will look at for syntax first. So inside this, since we have already defined a variable here, so for loop you can also do that here. Let num is equal to 0 and num is less than 10. So this is the condition. Then num plus equals 2. Okay, so what this will do is this will print even numbers. Okay, console dot log num. Inside the bracket we have, this is the initialization part and this is the condition and this is the incremental part. So we have initialized number to 0 and we will check if number is less than or equal to 10 and we will increment every time number by 2. So let me run this. Okay, so 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. However, if you don't want 0 here, we can initialize the number to 2. Okay, let us run this. 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. If you want to get the odd numbers, then define number as 1 and increment the number by 2 every time it loops through. So save this and run this. Now we have 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. So these are the odd numbers. So it is not necessary that you have to have the initialization part within for loop. You can also define this outside. So let num is equal to 1 and it is also not necessary that you need to increment within the for loop. You can also have it here. Okay, so this should yield the same result. Okay, however, we need to have this semicolon which defines where the condition starts and where the condition ends. So this is how we can use for loop. So let us look at while loop now. So the syntax is while, okay, num is less than or equal to 10. Okay, again we'll take out these two here. Okay, so let me comment this out. For loop, however, we have kept the initialization part as 1 here. Okay, so Okay, this will yield the same result. So this is how we can use while loop. If you look at for loop, without having the initialization part and the increment part, this for loop looks quite similar to your while loop. There is another loop called do while. Do again, copy this and paste it here, and we will check the condition at the end. While num is less than or equal to 10. Okay, so here we are checking in the beginning. Here we are checking the condition in the beginning. Here we are checking condition at the end. So let me comment in the while part, and this is do while loop. Okay, let me execute this. So it's yielding the same result. So this is do while loop. So here the condition is checked at the end. So what is the difference between while loop and a do while is whatever the statements within this do loop will execute at least once, because the condition is checked at the last. So it is guaranteed that it will execute at least once. However, in case of while, since it is checking the condition at the beginning, this will execute based on this condition. It may be 0 or more, but however, in this case, it will execute at least once. Okay, so we have seen for, while, do while. We will see break and continue. Okay, so let me comment this out. Okay, so let me take this while loop and paste it here. Okay, now inside the while loop, I want to check for another condition. If num is less than 5, then continue. Else okay, so we have to get this out. Okay, so if number is less than 5, then we should increment this before we continue, and we should increment here also. We want to increment the value of number before it goes back to this while loop. Okay, so let me save this, execute this. Okay, so now from 5 onwards it is printing. So 1, 3 we are missing because of this continue. So if you want to print something beyond 5 in odd number, we can make use of this continue here. So until it is less than 5, it continues, and after that it will print the value here. The same way we can also use break. So what we want to do is, okay, let me copy this again and paste it here. Okay, save this. While number is less than, okay, so what we want to print is, we want to print 1 and 3 here. Okay, so here instead of So we'll use break here, and if number is greater than 5, then break. If the number is less than 5, we want to log the number and increment the number by 2. And if it becomes greater than 5, then we just want to break. So let us execute this. Okay, 1, 3, and 5. So if we say greater than 4, then we will get 1 and 3. Break will break out of the loop. However, continue will continue with the loop. Okay, so this is how we can use loops and iteration. So we have seen how to use for, while, do while, break, and continue. That is the end of this session. Thanks for watching.